Some of the tenets guiding our actions include greater access to services, excellent customer service, and quality, competent care.
Good morning, you guys. My name is Keshana Hall Davis. I'm the Coalition Manager for Northeast Delta Human Services Authority here at the Office of Prevention and Wellness. I want to thank you guys for joining us, taking time out your day to spend time with us. So I just wanted to say that resiliency is a key factor in ensuring that we foster healthy behavior among the youth and reduce those risky outcomes such as teen pregnancy, truancy, trauma, dropout rates, low self-esteem, and even suicidal ideation. So all of these risk factors can lead to mental health and addiction issues, and those are things we want to try to prevent. So the Prevention and Wellness Department, we work with the community, the stakeholders, and partners to create and build environments and opportunity for children and adults to live to their full human potential. So we want this youth summit to be a catalyst for positive change. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the Louisiana Caring Communities Youth Survey data shows that children are consuming alcohol and drugs as early as 6th grade. This is something we have to stop. So this is what we want to do with this youth summit, is encourage the children to make positive choices.
I would like to introduce some of the panelists. Dr. Ashanti Jones. Dr. Jones is a native of Lake Charles, Louisiana. She graduated with honors from Dillard University of New Orleans, Louisiana, with a Bachelor's of Science in 2003. She has a master's degree and doctorate degree in physical therapy. Dr. Jones was awarded the opportunity to serve in a leadership role at the University of Louisiana Monroe, where she is currently the director of clinical education of the Doctorate of Physical Therapy program. Dr. Ashanti Jones is married to Louisiana State Representative Frederick D. Jones. They have 2 daughters and 1 son. Candace Geis. Candace Geis opened up Geis Law Company after seeing a number of small businesses skyrocket during the pandemic. She leveraged social media, including TikTok, to further her reach, educating small business owners across the globe. Attorney Geis founded the More Than Pretty campaign in 2017. She created more opportunities for young Black girls, which specifically focus on African-American girls with low social economic backgrounds, and provide them with the opportunity to connect with women that are making their footprint in areas of STEM, government, and corporate leadership. Coach DJ Davis. Coach DJ Davis was born and raised in West Monroe, Louisiana. He holds a position with the Ouachita Parish School District and administration responsible for discipline and student progression. He earned his bachelor's in business, mastering in teaching, and master's in education from ULM. Coach DJ's passion for mentoring young men led him to make an opportunity to transition into education and coaching in 2011. Coach DJ has created several companies with youth in the community in mind, His most recent venture, Just Run the Play Company, LLC, was founded in 2015. Just Run the Play has been influential in promoting character development in those who desire to become their better self and help others become better. D1.
I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. Out in my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Now introducing Coach DJ Davis.
All right. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm hoping everybody that's on the Zoom and also on location can hear me well. I am just super excited about this opportunity to be with you guys this morning. As you can see, I'm currently in my office here at Rising Middle School. I'm the actually assistant principal, and unfortunately and unfortunately, I am one of two administrators on campus today. So it was a challenge for me to be able to be with you at the Northeast Delta HSA offices. But I think we're still going to have a great time. I want to thank the HSA for this opportunity, Dr. Sizer and his team. I also want to thank the coordinators, Ms. Davis, and also Make a Move. I like what you're doing. I appreciate that introduction. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know we have a great lineup. I'm elated to be a part of this lineup with such an illustrious group of people who are doing great things, some young ladies doing some great things, and also some young men doing some great things, not only in our area, but also in Louisiana. As DJ Make a Move mentioned, I am Coach DJ Davis, born and raised here in West Monroe, Louisiana. I am what I consider a Ouachita Parish School Board. I'm a Ouachita Parish School Board. Let me move it up just a little bit. I'm a Ouachita Parish School Board poster child. I went to school at Ransom Elementary. I actually went to school here at Riser Middle School, and then I graduated from West Monroe High School, and I got all three of my degrees from the University of Louisiana at Monroe. So I consider myself just a born and raised kind of guy, local guy, and I pride myself in being able to get all of my education here locally. I have about 28 years of experience working with young people. I was first introduced with the opportunity to work with young people at the age of 16 at the Tri-District Boys and Girls Club in Monroe. And I also worked a little bit at the West Monroe location. So starting out at 16, having an opportunity to work with young people when I was a young person myself has given me a lot of exposure and a lot of experience. And I consider myself an expert in the area of mentoring young people, especially those that look like me and grew up in same conditions or situations such as myself. And so what we want to do today, I want to spend a few minutes talking about the importance of you. The youth summit that is being held today. I noticed that in the flyer, the word YOU in youth was bigger than most of the words, the other two words or the two letters in youth. And so that stood out to me as something that I felt the need to speak on. So we're going to talk about why the U in youth is so important. The YOU in youth is so important. First thing that stood out to me is that when you're looking at you, and this is for our young people, because I know having the experience of being around a lot of young people over these last 20 plus years, I know that sometimes young people such as yourself, you're challenged with trying to find out, your role in this world we live in. You sometimes feel like you have to, play a certain role or act a certain way or be a certain way when you really do not have to. Okay. So the first thing that stood out to me in the word you was the letter Y, which it came to me that it is very important. Number one, it is very important that you be yourself. Okay. So for those of you who are just so happen to be taking notes, the first thing is being yourself. The Y in YOU is being yourself. Because one thing that we've realized that even biblically it states that, in Jeremiah 29:11, the plan has already been placed. He knows the plan for you. So he didn't say he know the plan for you and somebody else. He knows the plan for you. And so the first thing that it requires us to do is to be ourselves. There's something that is so divine and so just spiritually connected when you have the opportunity and you start to discover who you are as an individual. I know there are a lot of things that are going on out there in social media world, TikTok, things of that nature that would make you believe you have to act and portray yourself as something totally different. But one thing I want to give you encouragement this morning is that young people, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be you and to be yourself. And I use an example all the time is that, you know, you walk into a kitchen and the kitchen has a lot of different things going on. You have a refrigerator, you got your stove, your sink, you got your microwave, you got a bunch of different things going on inside of that kitchen. But everything has a purpose in that kitchen. Everything has a role. Everything is specifically designed and created to do a certain task. And there's no different with us here as humans on this planet Earth. As young people, we're all given a specific task, and your task is going to be different than somebody else's task, your friend's task, your neighbor's task, your classmates' task. So you have to be you in order for you to be able to work to your full potential. The microwave can't do what the stove does. The stove can't do what the refrigerator does because they're all designed and created for a specific purpose. And there's no different with you. You have to be yourself, and you have to be able to be used to, in order for you to live your fullest potential and your most elevated potential, you have to be yourself. Okay. So number one thing is why in the YOU is to be yourself. Second thing is the O. The O, it brings me to thinking about opportunity. Okay. I heard someone mention earlier about, you know, the opportunity zone. Well, a great thing about being a young person, especially in this world we live in now, you have so many opportunities to be yourself. You have so many opportunities to take advantage of your uniqueness. You know, you have your TikToks, you have your Instagrams, and you have your snaps, to where it allows you this opportunity to be yourself. And so I want to encourage you who are listening to take advantage of those opportunities that present themselves that will allow you to be who you were designed to be. Opportunities that most people will probably never be exposed to, because those opportunities have been designed and they've been presented for you to take advantage of. And you can't look back left and right to see, well, who else is going to do this or who else want to join me, because they may not be designed to take advantage of that opportunity. And so it is important that as you move through these next few years of your life, I don't know who all listening. I don't know if we got elementary, you know, we got probably middle school kids, high school, and even some seniors graduating. May have some college students on here. But as you get ready to move forward in these next few years of your life, think about opportunity. What opportunities are going to be presenting themselves to me that I can take advantage of that would allow me to be exactly who God designed me to be? I use myself as an example. I mean, I tried to run away from many opportunities to be in this position that I'm in right now. I tried everything. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. But at the end of the day, God designed and created me to be someone who had a compassion and a dedication to see young people win. And so now opportunities opportunities really fall into my lap that allows me to be used to my fullest potential. And so I want to encourage you that are listening right now is to look and keep your head on the swivel and look around, and always be looking for those opportunities that are going to present themselves that will allow you to be the best you that you can be. Okay. And so then we move to the you in the you word, in the word you, because we're looking at why is you important in youth. And so we look at the letter U. All right. We've already talked about why. We've talked about O. And so I want to lastly talk about you. You, for me, is about uplift. Okay. It's about uplift. And what is uplift? Uplift is basically you giving opportunities to other people. How can you help someone else? How can you build and bring someone else up to a position of success? How can you help someone else reach their goals and dreams? And so I know a lot of times as young people, you may think that, well, I'm only 11. How can I help someone? I mean, I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm only 14, I'm only 15. How can I be of assistance to someone else to uplift somebody else? I've seen it too many different times, and I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter what age you are, how much experience you have. If you have a sincere desire to see other people succeed, you can uplift other people. I think I've seen Haley. I think she's on here with Love Lit Candles. I mean, very, very successful young person. You know, I think you may be Haley now, about 16 now. I think I'm thinking you about that age right now, but I've seen her in many different occasions take the talent that God has given her to be able to successfully not only be herself, okay, she's also taken advantage of several opportunities to use her talents. And then she's also used that you and uplift to be in a position to make other people feel good, whether it be through a kind word or a kind gesture, or even just through her candle making process. She's been able to take advantage of even uplifting people who are older than she is. I mean, grown people have been blessed by her presence and some of the things that she's been able to do. So you don't have to be a certain age, or you don't have to wait till you're 18, or you don't have to wait till you're 21 or 30 or 50 to be in or have a desire to want to help uplift people. Okay. So I want to wrap up by pretty much saying that you are important in you. Be yourself, take advantage of the opportunities that are present themselves. And lastly, uplift when you have the opportunity to uplift. It's Coach DJ Davis, always wanting to run the play.
Thank you, Coach DJ Davis. Northeast Louisiana Delta Human Services Authority also offers service for mental health, addiction, development, disabilities, and prevention. Services are free for those who are insured and underinsured. If your school would like free prevention, evidence-based lessons, or information, call us at 318-362-4617. That's 318-362-4617. Now we will have Dr. Shanti Jones.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I would like to thank Dr. Sizer and the Northeast Delta HSA team for putting on such an amazing event and allowing me to be a part of it. Y'all had a chance to chat with some of these team members earlier this morning, and they are amazing and they are truly passionate about what they do. So I'm grateful to be amongst their company. I also want to say thank you to the youth who have joined us today. Congratulations to you for taking the time to invest in your future by investing in your path to success. Lastly, I must shout out DJ Make a Move for keeping the energy high in here this morning and helping motivate it. Coach DJ Davis, you shared some amazing words of wisdom. I specifically appreciate the message about uplifting others. That is so true. As long as you continue to uplift those around you, you will yourself continue to elevate. I was asked to share my story about my personal journey to success. I'm flattered by the request because in my mind, I'm still on that journey. I have been blessed to accomplish many great things, but I'm still walking by faith and believing that the best is yet to come. I wrote down my story because I didn't want to leave anything out. So excuse me for reading, but I just really want to get this off my chest and hope that it helps even one individual out there tuning in. As a young teen, I dreamed of becoming a physical therapist. My biggest challenge was that I had no idea where to start. I knew the journey would not be easy, but I had no clue the challenges I had ahead of me. I was the first in my family to leave home to attend college out of town. I was afraid but excited about a brand new start. I was proud to be a college student and to be able to call the big city of New Orleans my new home. I also had 6 friends from my hometown attending the same university, and one of them was my roommate. This brought me great comfort and helped me overcome my fears of being away from my family in an unfamiliar city. My first semester went well. It was great to come back home for Christmas break, repping my new school, hanging out with my high school friends, exchanging stories about our first semester as official college students. Life was great. My future was bright. Christmas break quickly came to an end, and it was time to pack up and head back to school. It was in the second semester of my freshman year of college that my world changed. My parents decided to get a divorce. This devastated me. But more concerning, this left my little sister to grow up in a broken home. My mom had to shift gears into being the head of the household, and our financial profile changed drastically. I felt like my entire foundation had crumbled from beneath me. Trying to avoid placing a heavier burden on my mom, I got a part-time job, which reduced my study time as well as my social life. This shift weighed heavily on me emotionally. I began to bury the pain. My friends and classmates started to notice the shift in my demeanor. One classmate actually offered me a pick-me-up. I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it. The thought of numbing the pain I was feeling was very tempting. As I fell deeper and deeper into the sadness of my new reality, I became more and more tempted to drink. My sadness turned into anger, and my young adolescent self did not know how to deal with what I was feeling. In a moment of weakness, I decided to take one of my friends up on her offer, and I drank what I thought was a daiquiri, later to find out that it was actually called a hand grenade. I can remember feeling sick to my stomach the next day. I'm still not sure what was in that drink, but I had never felt that way before. Sitting in my bed feeling lousy, my eyes fell upon a daily devotional that I received as a college graduation gift, as a high school graduation gift. I grabbed the book and opened the page to the date and started reading. Through reading this devotional, I found the answers to many difficult questions that eventually led me to peace, a peace that I could never really explain. I started journaling to better process my emotions and used a positive way to help me deal with hurtful feelings. I still practice this technique to this day. I adjusted to my new reality and felt the hurt less and less. I returned back to normal engagement with my family and friends. I was excelling in my schoolwork, and I even joined a sorority. Shout out to the pretty girls of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Life was great again. I was dating the love of my life, and I found out I had been accepted into physical therapy school. The next year rolled around, and I was graduating with my Bachelor's of Science degree with honors and headed to graduate school. Learning to turn to prayer and trust in God built my faith and helped me to overcome my fears of taking standardized tests and applying to PT school. God had blessed me to gain a spot in a physical therapy program, and I was determined to not let him or anyone else down. I attended physical therapy school in Texas, again, a new city and new surroundings. This time, I didn't have my hometown group of friends to help me feel comfortable. I didn't know anyone in the city, and I went from attending an HBCU where most of my classmates looked just like me to being one of the few that shared my skin color, cultural experiences, and social familiarities. I was also introduced to a new and faster pace of coursework, requiring 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. class attendance, multiple subjects, and multiple tests each week. It was hard, and I was struggling to fit in, struggling to keep up, and struggling to manage the stress of it all. During my second year in PT school, I suffered from stress-induced anxiety disorder, which led me into a debilitating state of fear. I was worried about everything. The worry consumed me and robbed me of sleep, peace, and normal day-to-day functioning. I was stressing over stressing. I was afraid of falling behind in my studies, which only added to my stress. I reached out for help from my professors, but no one could help me. I sought out medical attention, but the medical doctor's reports came back 100% healthy. I had no physical signs and symptoms. My blood work was perfect, but I was still not well. I felt so alone and hopeless because no one could figure out why I was being robbed of peace and sleep. I became fearful at the thought of death and dying. I feared failure and becoming ill. I found myself worrying about things that probably would never happen in a million years. In a desperate attempt to be healed, I turned to the only thing I knew, the only thing that was constant in my life. I turned to prayer. I meditated. I used my tape recorder to record my voice, saying over and over again, God loves you. He will never put more on you than you can bear. God loves you. He will never put more on you than you can bear. I listened to this recording over and over and over until I fell asleep each night. I had a third appointment at the doctor's office. And this time, while I was in the waiting room, I saw a book amongst many books on a bookshelf called Caring for the Mind. I walked straight to this book amongst all the other books and opened to the page. This book led me to the right doctor, it led me to the right treatment, and it helped me to return back to a normal state of mind. I was able to exceed in my studies, and through hard work and dedication, I was able to graduate PT school with honors. I have shared my personal story with you all today because I want you to know that in life, you will be faced with adversity, tough times, difficult situations, failures, unfair and unfavorable circumstances, but you must tap into the power that is already within you. If you pray and ask God to keep you, if you remain positive and faith-filled, if you constantly seek the high road, hold yourself accountable for your own success, you will find those difficult situations will turn around. Those unfair circumstances will become opportunities. And those tough times will strengthen you and allow you to withstand the next challenge and press on towards success. Remain focused on your goals and never let failure stop you. Don't allow distractions to stop you, and don't allow people's walks around you to stop you. Create a plan and never ever stop until you accomplish it. Thank you.
Dr. Ashanti Jones. Make some noise for her. Make sure if you're on the stream that you get connected with Northeast Delta Human Service Authority by going to their Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and even LinkedIn, NE Delta HSA. That's NE Delta HSA. Also on Facebook, you can go to Northeast Delta Human Services Authority. Next up, we will have attorney Candace Geis.
Favorite DJs and in the good company of other people who are of the same mindset. And I think that's so important. We're looking at chasing our dreams. Okay. Today we're talking about success and how you get there. And I think what is so amazing about what Ms. Ashanti just shared, Dr. Ashanti Jones just shared, is the transparency behind what it takes to accomplish our goals and our dreams. So often we look at what we see as a finish line for other people, not understanding that to get where you want to go, you have to go through some things, right? Winning is about doing hard things and seeing those hard things through. When I look at my own life, I love to have these conversations because when I walk in the room, people say, you are so well put together. You seem so nice. You seem so this. But when you look at where I came from and what my circumstances were, people did not predict me to have the trajectory that I'm having right now as it relates to my life. And I think that some people who are tuned in here today can relate to feelings of differentness. When I was moved here after my parents decided to split up and we moved from Alabama to Monroe, I immediately felt that differentness, right? We spent the majority of our lives or growing up on South Monroe, being raised by my grandmother while my mom did what she needed to do to provide for our family. And in doing that, I had some unique situations and circumstances. My dreams didn't necessarily fit with the people who I was around all the time. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel like I fit in with the crowd and the people who I felt like were popular around me. And when we have those type of feelings, I think that it leads to feelings of, number one, depression, number two, insecurity about ourselves, And number three, the need to want to fit in, right? And when we want to fit in, sometimes we make decisions that are not necessarily in our best interest as it relates to where we're going. Thankfully for me, there were people who stepped in and had conversations, came to my school and spoke to us about the importance of making good choices. One specific situation that really impacted my life was having Miss Louisiana, Faith Jenkins, come and speak to me at school. Y'all, I remember how special it was to see a Black woman as the first Miss Black Louisiana, and I dreamed a little bigger. I thought differently about myself because of that situation. Today, she doesn't know my name, but who I am as it relates to my path to going to law school, as it relates to how I carry myself, as it relates to how I saw my skin color and how I related to being a minority, was impacted heavily and tremendously by that conversation. And from there, what I did was focus in on what my uniqueness brought to the table, right? And so I was nerdy in the way that I like to write. I like to do stories. I like to speak. And that wasn't what everybody else was into, but God was using that gifting to develop me for where he wanted me to be in my future. And that writing, that speaking, that having a loud mouth turned into me eventually becoming an attorney, and me thinking about how I could make a difference in the world around me, how I could be a world changer is what I used to say. How can I change the world? And so every step I took was getting me closer to changing the world, even though in my mind, I didn't feel like I was making the progress that I needed to make that impact. After graduating from law school, after getting my master's of public administration, I found myself back in my hometown. And if you're a graduating senior, or you're somebody who was born and raised in Monroe, okay, a lot of us had the mentality about what do we need to do to get out of here? Like, what do we need to do to really make it out of here? We associated success with leaving this city. And I'm here to tell you that coming back home and sitting at home, I thought to myself, like, Lord, why did you bring me back here? Because I felt like you told me I was going to change the world. And I don't know how I can change the world from Monroe, Louisiana. But let me tell you, I really learned over that time in my life that you change the world by starting with your own backyard. And so I'm saying all that to say that because of the fact that I stayed the course, I was able to come back, and now I have the opportunity to give back to young girls who may be feeling the same insecurity as me, the same thoughts, the same concerns, the same uniqueness as me. But I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not stayed the course, had I not listened to people who were in my life or who were positioned in my life to tell their story so that I would become motivated to stay the course and to make the right decisions as it related to where I would go next. And so for you, I said all that to say, because today is about you, okay? Today, I said all that to say that there is so much value in your differentness. You have a unique opportunity to cause social disruption. And when we think about the word disruption, overall, what we think about is chaos and bad things, but social disruption can also be something really, really unique. Okay, it means that you have an opportunity to come in and to be innovative and to be groundbreaking and to think of new ways that you can impact your community and the world around you. For me, it's no longer about getting out, it's about what I can put in and how everything that I'm accomplishing has that domino effect on the people who are under the sound of my voice today, over my children, my future kids, my nieces, my nephews, and young people who feel hopeless. And so when you're tempted to make those bad decisions that don't align with your dreams, I want you to be so focused on achieving those dreams, not only for yourself, but for your parents, for your siblings, for young people who feel just like you in this moment, and how that can have an impact on their lives. Because achieving our dreams isn't just for us, it's for us to be a blessing to others. And by prioritizing your dreams and ambitions above peer pressure, you are able to create an impact. What you achieve goes beyond you. In the same way, your consequences go beyond you. And so when you're thinking about what comes tomorrow or what you want to do when you wake up in the morning, or whether you want to focus on your grades or focus on other things, or whether you want to drink, or whether you want to do drugs, I want you to think about that dream that you have. Make it plain, have it somewhere that you can envision that, and surround yourself with people who can help motivate you to get there. I understand everything that comes along with the peer pressure of being a young adult. It is hard, y'all. Y'all do not get enough credit for the exposure that you have to different circumstances and being able to rise above that. But overall, I just want to encourage you today to stay focused. Remember that diamonds stand out. When I was younger, I didn't understand why I couldn't fit in. But now that I'm older, I realized that I was being protected and preserved, and I was maintaining that uniqueness because of a special call upon my life to make a difference. And that special call for you might be drawing or speaking or being the next attorney general, but whatever it is, if you do it and you do it with the right heart and with the right intentions, you'll make an impact that goes way beyond you, right? And for us, it's about creating a legacy. It's about seeing how we can change and transform this city into all the things that we see on TV and beyond. And we have that ability to do that with people like you. You can make that change by staying the course. And so I want to encourage you to do that. For people who are going through tough times right now, who are struggling with things inside of their households, who are struggling with understanding themselves, understanding what's next for their lives, I want to encourage you and remind you that you are right where you need to be. Even if your circumstances seem unlikely, even if the people around you seem to have more than you or seem to be more popular, you are right where you need to be for you to become who God has intended you to become. And I want to encourage you to stay focused on that in times of darkness. Everything you face is teaching you something for your future. Your circumstances are giving you a story to tell and an audience to tell it to. Please remember that there's purpose and a promise that is specifically designated for you, and you'll get there if you stay focused on your dreams and making the right decisions. Thank you so much for having me and for listening. There are so many other things you could be doing today. So I applaud you for having the discipline to tune in to this awesome youth summit. Thanks.
Make some noise for attorney Candace Geis. I would like to remind you that Northeast Delta Human Service Authority also offers mental health, addiction, development, disabilities, and prevention. Services are free to those who are uninsured and underinsured. Prevention and wellness services are free for the community. Grief counseling services are available as well. If your school would like prevention, evidence-based lessons, or information, call us at 318-362-4617. That's 318-362-4617. Now, for the keynote speaker, this guy's a New Orleans native rapper. He graduated from Louisiana State University, taught middle school in Baton Rouge for 2 years before focusing exclusively on his music career. He collaborated with Lecrae, Killer Mike, Manny Fresh, Juvenile, to name a few. Governor Edwards appointed D1 to the Louisiana Council on Success of Black Men and Boys, a state executive branch advisory board. This makes him the first rapper in Louisiana history to be appointed of the governor. I would like to introduce to the stream D1.
Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that illustrious introduction. Thank you so much. I just want to say good morning and shout out to everyone who's tuning in. I definitely want to thank the Northeast Delta Human Services Authority for having me and for putting on such an important event as this. I hope that it's a lot of students who are watching this. And if you're watching this, then make sure that you really tune in right now. Make sure you get all the wax out your ears so you can hear what I'm about to say. Even for the adults who are watching this, this is equally important for us because as I've heard some of the earlier speakers say, we don't just live our lives for ourselves, so we are literally a manifestation of what people before us did and the road that they paved and what they poured into us. So we should never stop learning even as adults. And this is a great day and a great opportunity for us to learn. There's so much that goes into what allows a student to fully reach their full potential in life. So many factors that contribute to that. But underage drinking is something that will not help you fulfill your purpose and will not help you maximize your potential. There's no correlation between drinking and being a better person when it comes to achieving your big picture goals. There's no correlation between those two things. Me personally, I have an interesting story because I'm able to say that I have never had alcohol a day in my life. I am a rapper. I I am very well known. I've traveled all over the world and toured, but I have never, ever, and I wouldn't lie to y'all, I have never consumed alcohol, not one day in my life. Now, there's a few reasons behind this. This didn't happen by accident. When you think about the reasons why a lot of teenagers start to drink specifically, let's go through the list. One reason is people do it because they're curious. Say, hey, I just want to see what that tastes like. Another reason why teenagers consume alcohol is because they want to fit in. We've heard that spoken about today, and that's a big reason why people start to consume alcohol. They want to fit in. Some teenagers consume alcohol because they want to reduce their stress, and they feel like drinking alcohol will help them reduce their stress. Other students, they want to just simply relax. So that kind of ties into reducing stress, but they just want to relax. And some people just do it because they want to feel good. And they think, you know what, consuming alcohol as a teenager, that'll help me feel good. Well, when I hear all of those reasons, and when I've seen people consume alcohol around me, especially as a teenager, none of that ever clicked to me. You know why? I'm gonna give y'all 3 reasons why I know alcohol is not the best choice for anyone, especially a teenager who's watching this. Number one, when I hear people say stuff like, yeah, I drink to feel good, or I drink to reduce my stress, or I drink, to try to fit in, the thing that clicks into my head is I'm already lit. Like, I'm already lit as is. Like, I'm very confident in who I am, and I'm very proud to be who I am. Even with my insecurities, even with my imperfections, I'm not perfect. I have a lot of things about me that I wish could be different. But despite all of those things, I still know deep down, like, man, I'm lit, yo. Like, God really made D1, or before D1, God made David Augustine Jr. into a person who didn't end up on this earth by accident. So if you're a teenager and you're watching this, you don't ever have to look to something external, especially alcohol, to validate who you are. You are already lit. You could have literally been, this pen right here. You could have been this permanent marker right here. You could have been this watch on my wrist, but you're not that. You're a human being. Like, God took his time when he created you, and he did that intentionally to make you exactly who you are and how you are. So knowing that you're lit already, and knowing that you are already enough, will give you the confidence to know that something like alcohol does not validate you in any way, shape, or form. Now, I had opportunities to where people would say, hey, this is when you're supposed to drink. Sometimes people normalize drinking when you're a teenager, and they make it seem like, oh, right now, I remember being in high school and we at homecoming, and they're like, man, everybody, you got to drink at homecoming. That's just part of it in order to have fun. And I'm sitting there listening to everybody, and I'm like, I'm already having a lot of fun. Like, I'm cool, like, as is. I don't need any alcohol. Like, I'm here, I can hear the music, the DJ running the music, all right? I see people dancing. I'm not really a dancer, so I'm probably not gonna go get on the dance floor and dance with them, but I'm okay with that too. I'm the dude that like to play the background and just cool out on the wall and just vibe out, but I'm okay with that. So it's not like I need that in order to have fun. Then some people will be like, hey, drinking alcohol in high school, this makes you cool. It just makes you cool to be standing there with a cup. Oh man, you got that cup, or you got that double cup, or you just got, like, it just looks right. You're inside of a party, you gotta have this. And this is how I knew that was a lie, because I was in high school at homecoming when people actually were doing this. And I could tell, like, man, they just sitting here because they feel like that makes them look cool with a drink in their hand. Meanwhile, that same night, I got voted to be the homecoming king at my high school. And I was like, what's more cool than being the homecoming king? So y'all are sitting here telling me that we have to drink in order to be cool. Like, that just makes us cool. But it's actually a lie, because I'm not drinking at all. And, things that other people would define as cool, this is just happening to me. I just got voted homecoming king, and I'm knowing that I don't need alcohol. People clearly thought that I was cool without drinking. Nobody voted for me for homecoming king because I was drinking alcohol or something like that. And that's just an example. When I got to college and I would go to parties, people would say, man, we got to drink when we go here. And I was never afraid to say why. People would say, we have to do this, we have to do that. I'm gonna ask you, why we have to do that? Because I really don't feel like I need that. When I think about this list, y'all tell me what y'all like on this list. Just tell me if you like anything on this list, because this is what alcohol can lead to. Here we go. Emergency room visits. Y'all like that? Because y'all like that? I definitely don't like that. Academic problems. I definitely don't like academic problems. Addiction at an early age. Problems with our brain, memory loss. Y'all like those things? Because I don't. So when I think about alcohol and I think, well, what are the positives? All of the positives that people name when it comes to alcohol, it'll make you feel good. It'll reduce your stress. It'll help you fit in. Those are things that I deconstructed all of those myths and I realized that those were lies. Like, that's not true. I can feel good without alcohol. I can reduce my stress or be relaxed without alcohol. And I can definitely fit in, quote unquote, without alcohol. But we're going to get to that later, this whole fitting in thing. But just being able to have friends. I want to tell y'all something, whether you a teenager, whether you an adult, if people are only going to be your friend because you're doing something like drinking, if that's the only thing that will cause them to be your friend, then you don't need to be friends with those people. Same way, if you go to a party and if someone will only talk to you, just follow my men out there. If you go to a party, my brother, and if the woman you got your eye on, if she refuses to talk to you, unless you getting her some alcohol, I'm just like, look, I think I'm important enough to where you should want to talk to me without me having to buy you alcohol. Is that a prerequisite? So you care about the alcohol more or you care about me more? It's just conversation. You heard me? It should be free. So that's something that I want y'all to keep in mind, is that alcohol should not be a prerequisite to someone wanting to be your friend at all. So keep that in mind. So the first reason why I haven't consumed alcohol and I've always been able to stay away from it is because I know that I'm already lit. And I want you to internalize that. You are already lit. God made you to be a human being, not on accident, but on purpose. You are exactly who you are and you're enough. So you don't need those things. The second reason why it's beneficial to stay away from alcohol and why I've been able to stay away from alcohol consumption is that not only am I already lit, but I know my purpose. I know my purpose. Knowing your purpose is something that happens when you live life, when you bump your head. I've had my best friend get murdered. I've had people I was with cheat on me and mess over me before. I've had, my heart broken. I've messed up in school before. I've been cut from the basketball team when I knew I was good enough in college, like all this type of stuff. But despite all that stuff, it helped me connect with my greater purpose in life. And once I realized what my greater purpose was, and I realized it was tied into God, God really created me and allowed me to go through all these experiences to bottle them up and to take things that I'm good at. Think about, ask yourself, what are you good at? And once you realize what you're good at and how you can make a difference in this world and how you can not only make money, but you can make impact, not just income, but impact. Once you know that, when you're looking at a bottle of alcohol, you're going to be like, wait. I'm so in love with fulfilling my purpose, and no day is boring because every day I have some work to do towards fulfilling my purpose. With that being said, when I look at this bottle of alcohol, this alcohol has nothing to do with helping me get closer to fulfilling my purpose. It just doesn't. As a rapper, when I decided that I was going to become D1 and be a full-time rapper, I can't name to y'all how many times there are alcohol companies that have said, hey, we'll give you $10,000. We'll give you $20,000 to sponsor this tour that you're going on. We just want our banner in the background. Hey, we'll pay you to come and host this event that we're doing. But we just, we need you to take a picture next to this bottle or take a picture with this bottle or take a picture with just something in your cup. you know, even if you don't really drink it. Y'all know how lame that is to me? Because that's not part of my purpose. And once again, I know that I'm already lit, and I understand that that's not part of my purpose at all. So for me, I'm like, why would I sit here and promote something that I don't really do? And I know a lot of rappers, unfortunately, who don't drink in real life, but because they still trying to fit in, y'all, they still trying to fit in. They in their 40s, they in their 30s, you heard me? They grown. So they'll sit here and promote something that they don't even do or use. That's cap right there. That's whack right there. And I'm not even gonna name their names, but we all know some of their names. And that's tough, yo. I've seen alcohol and drugs tear up the lives of some of my close personal friends. It's sad that to this day, I have friends who they are not in their right mind fully because some drugs that they used when we were younger, or the alcohol that they consumed when they were younger, literally rewired their brain, literally altered the shape of their brain and the functionality of their brain to where they are not the same today. And it is horrible to think back to how we were in high school versus how they are now. And it's like you're the same human being, but you're not the same up here. And it's because of alcohol use or drug use. That's heartbreaking, yo. That's heartbreaking. So I know I'm already lit. I know my purpose. And the last thing is this. This is why you should stay away from alcohol consumption. This is why I have stayed away from it. Let's face it, a big part of what we have to deal with is peer pressure. People giving us that little side eye or looking at us crazy, like, wait, why you not doing this? Like, come on, hit this, or come on, drink this. Like, let me pull you up. And that helps us to quote unquote fit in. Let me tell y'all something I have learned. I like being different. I really, really like being different. What I mean is, at one time in life, fitting in seems so important. But probably right around the time I got out of high school, I realized that the people who go the furthest in life are actually the ones who stand out. So the ones who are different, like everybody says that they want to be different, but if you're different, but you're doing things specifically to impress other people, then you're actually not different. But I truly enjoy being the person that can be like, nah, I might be the only one here tonight who isn't drinking, but guess what? I'm proud of that, and I'm cool with that. And that doesn't mean that I judge people who do drink, especially people who are old enough to drink. That's a personal decision that they have the right to make. But it doesn't make me feel like I need to do that to be like them. I really enjoy being different. I remember when I was in 5th grade in the first day of school, I had the brand new black Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls jersey, right? I had the 23 jersey, it had the pinstripes, black jersey. They had just came out with those. I was like, man, I'm about to be so fresh at school today. Oh my gosh. When I got to school and I saw 3 more students with that jersey on, I was like, oh no, y'all didn't mess my whole swag up. Other people, I'm not different anymore. Other people got this same jersey. That's not what's up, you know? That's not what's up at all. And that's how I feel when it comes to alcohol, yo. If people, if society, if songs, if movies, if Instagram, TikTok, if they make it seem like underage drinking is cool, then be like, bet, maybe that's for y'all, but I enjoy being different. I see, I'm glad that we have the chat popping. I see a few questions in this chat. Okay. Is that to me, Kashana? Put that in the chat. Let me know. Is that to me or is that to everyone? Okay, that's gonna be for everyone in the chat. Okay, cool. That's not for me specifically. Bet. So I know and I fully understand that I'm at peace. I'm at peace, y'all. I'm at peace with not being a consumer of alcohol because number one, I know I'm already lit. And that goes for you as well. You are already lit. You don't have to try to be confident when you are already created and you're already enough. You don't have to try to be cool when you are already cool. You're already validated by your creator. So keep that in mind. So knowing that you're already lit. Number 2, I know my purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, that's something that you should really try to put effort into getting in touch with. How can I use the things that I like to do, the things that I'm good at, in order to make this world a better place, in order to make God proud, because God gave me this talent? How can I do that? Once you know what your purpose is, you'll realize that alcohol is not part of your purpose. I guarantee you, consuming alcohol is not part of your purpose. I promise you that. I promise that. And number 3, I like, I really do, because it's not cool to just feel like, oh, I'm just a carbon copy of everybody else. So if everybody else is saying, yeah, we drinking and we doing this, okay, I don't mind being a person. Matter of fact, I was in Dallas, Texas at my friend's birthday party at a steakhouse, at a restaurant last week. And they were toasting. This is a real life story. They were toasting for his birthday and all that. And that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. But I was like, yo, y'all know I'm about to sip on this water right here, so I could toast up with this water. But I'm good. Somebody who played in the NFL bought shots for everybody around the table. And I looked at it, I said, man, my boy whose birthday it was, I said, you want this? Because you already know I'm not finna have this. And they kind of make their little, their little jokes, but it's jokes out of respect. Because when they know that you're confident in wanting to be different, people actually respect that. They really do. So that is that's the 3 things that I want y'all to be left with. Once again, to recap. I know I'm already lit. Number 2, I know my purpose. And number 3, I like being different. And you should embrace all those things and you'll be good. So I know we're moving forward into the panel discussion. Once again, my name is D1. I look forward to staying in touch with everybody on here, whether you're an adult or whether you're a child, because we do want to make this world better for everyone since we're in this thing. So I appreciate y'all time. DJ, come back.
All right, we wanted to shout out D1. Thank you so much for coming on and participating in our youth summit today. Very valuable words. We greatly appreciate you. So now we're going to take a brief intermission. We want to have a raffle for a pair of wireless headphones, and they are branded with our HSA logo, so you can support our organization and have wonderful music in your ears. So we have 4 of these to give away, and we have drawn random names from our participants in the chat. So we're going to announce those now. The first one is Haley Beckwith. Congratulations. The second one is James Miles. The third one is Santi Mitchell. And the fourth one is Miss S. Hayes. So if you would, please drop your contact information in the chat box, your direct contact information. It could be a phone number or an email, just some way that we can get in touch with you to get you these headphones. So thank you all so much for participating.
While we get ready for the panel discussion. we're about to have the open panel discussion. I'm gonna start off with asking Attorney Geis and Dr. Ashanti Jones a question. A few consequences of underage drinking are injuries, teen pregnancy, increased risk of alcohol dependency, and even death. Did you know about those consequences as a youth, and how did you avoid it?
I'll start. Yeah, I was pretty aware of the consequences of alcoholism and drug abuse. In fact, there were some very personal situations within our family where I noticed that abuse firsthand and was able to see, you know, how that impacted the lives of not only the person who was struggling with that addiction, but also our family, and the impact that it had on, you know, people who were caring for this person and wanting that person to make a good decision. Beyond that, I would say that one impactful moment that I had was in high school at Neville. They wanted to talk to us before prom, and so they brought in this guy, and he was shackled, and he had on an orange jumpsuit. So I was like, why is he here? But he sat down and he was pretty much talking to us about how during his actual prom, he drank and drove, he was drinking and driving, and he actually killed someone. And so he was sent to prison for that. And I remember the regret in his eyes. I remember thinking how sad it was for both sides, like the young lady who lost her life, but also for this young man who was spending a great majority of his time in prison because of the actions that he had made. And so those, you know, few things in my life really did hone in on the impact of drinking and driving and help me to stay focused on making the right decisions.
Good answer, good answer. I too, unfortunately, had personal experiences with very, very close family members who struggled with alcoholism. I saw how it ripped his life apart, and it was just heartbreaking. This person was just so wise and had such a promising future and was everything to me. I looked up to him more than anyone at that time. And to see how his life drastically changed because of alcoholism, and to have it so close within my family genes, I actually was afraid because I was knowledgeable of the fact that, you know, this could be a genetic disease. You know, you could have an addictive gene that will cause you to easily get addicted to these things. So a lot of us, we don't even know our genetic makeup. We don't know if we are already pre-exposed to being addicted to a substance such as alcohol. So that fear kind of helped me to steer clear. But as I shared my testimony with you all earlier, I still fell to peer pressure, and, you know, life circumstances led me to say, okay, I guess I'll try to drink because everybody else around me seemed to be, you know, drinking and you know, loving life. And so I was fortunate to have my first real drink to be a hand grenade that about took me out. And I remember that feeling, and that sick feeling. And, you know, I realized alcohol didn't do it for me. I'm like D1, I'm already lit. Like I would be in parties and going out in college and just be on a natural high, having a good time. And everyone around me would think, what are you drinking? And I'm like, Sprite. But, you know, when I would have a drink, it would just dim my light. It made me feel sick. And so my advice to you guys would be to listen to your body. You know, don't try to fit in, you know, do what's good for you. And for me, drinking didn't do it because like D1 said, it didn't lead to any success. There's no correlation that says drinking will help you achieve success. Drinking will help elevate you to obtain a dream. Drinking does the opposite. And then with Attorney Geis sharing her story about the prisoner murdering someone, you know, drunk drivers. I mean, just thinking about all those things and those consequences really helped me to make the decision to say no.
I appreciate the answers. We're going to go to Coach DJ Davis. DJ, I got a question for you. What are some ways people have tried to pressure you to drink, and what did you do?
Well, I can go back to my years in high school and also in college. And being an athlete and being a football player, there were many opportunities to take advantage of alcohol or substance abuse, and so a lot of times it will come across as competition. There are a lot of athletes that like to convert things over into competitions, whether it be tiddlywinks, dominoes, pity pat. And so there were many opportunities to get involved in alcoholic beverages, and it came across as something not subtle, but more like a competition. And pretty much like D1 mentioned, I've been a fool without substance abuse. I mean, I dance at parties and act a fool and have fun, but a lot of times, and I want the young people to understand that, is that sometimes it can come across as very subtle. That opportunity, it can come across as very subtle, but then it also at the same time, it can come in forms that get your attention, like a competition. Oh man, I bet you can't do X. I bet you can't drink that much. I bet how many can you do? How long can you hold this? Or how can you do this? And then it becomes a competition, and before you know it, you'll be like Dr. Shanti, and you'll be out of your mind on a hand grenade and wondering what Mack truck done ran you over. So be mindful of the different ways that peer pressure can come as subtle and also in variations that catch your attention, like competitions and challenges and things of that nature.
Thank you, Coach DJ Davis. Appreciate the answer. D1, I have a question for you. Why do you think people bully others? And if you experienced it, how did you overcome it?
First of all, I just put my Zoom on gallery view. Why none of y'all showing y'all faces? All these people in the crowd today. What in the world y'all hiding behind them cameras for? It'd be great to see some of y'all beautiful faces. But anyway, maybe that's the settings are just like that. But there we go. Shout out to Rays of Sunshine. There we go. Y'all lucky I ain't catch y'all when I was speaking. I'd have been called y'all out. But especially my fans that's on here. But anyway, all right, we back now. What's the question? I'm sorry.
Why do you think people bully others? And if you experienced it, how did you overcome it?
Why do people bully others? When you are fully at peace with yourself and when you fully respect yourself, you have no desire to want to harm or bully others. So therefore, people who bully others, they do it because they feel an insecurity. They might be insecure about how they look, but they know that they're bigger than other people. So they're like, I'm gonna take advantage of my size to overcome for my appearance. I'm gonna take advantage of my size to bully people. Or there might be people who know that they aren't doing that well academically, but they know that they got a loud mouth and they know they can make fun of people. They can rib people, like we say, real good. So they'll make fun of people and rib people, knowing that if the joke is on them and on what they're wearing, then the joke doesn't have to be on me and these grades that I'm making or these bad grades that I'm making. So it's usually some kind of an insecurity. And the thing is, we all have the potential to be bullies. If we wanted to, we could all be bullies. Like every single one of us, we have something that we could use that energy to where we feel insecure, and we could use it negatively, to make other people feel bad and put them down. But that's the difference when you fully know your purpose in life, is you take that same thing, you take an insecurity, and instead of using that insecurity to be a bully, you use that insecurity to be a blessing to others. And what I mean is that insecurity becomes part of your testimony, and you can speak to others about how you have still overcome and achieved great things despite that insecurity. So instead of being a bully, you can actually be a blessing when you understand the purpose for God creating you.
All right, I got one more question for you. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, the younger D1, what would you say?
The advice to give to my younger self would be, it's not enough to just do the right thing, but be bold about it. Be bold about it, because this acronym that I came up with in my head, you know, I'm a rapper. So there's an old rap group, this is before my time, called EPMD. And when I first heard of them, I was like, EPMD, I wonder what that stands for. And as I got older, I came up with my own meaning for those letters. And it says, extreme people make differences. Extreme people make differences. It's not the people who ride the fence. It's not the people who are lukewarm. You know, if you think about it, the Bible says that God is actually not a fan of people who are lukewarm. Even if you're lukewarm and you're like, well, I'm doing the right thing a little more than I'm doing the wrong thing. It's like, it's the people who are extreme who are going to make the differences. There's a lot of extremely negative behavior in this world, and it makes the world harder for all of us. So in order to balance that off like a seesaw, we need people who are extreme and who are bold about doing the right thing. And I think for too long, I was a person who was like, well, I'm always gonna make sure I'm on the right side of the fence. I'm doing the right thing, but I don't want to stand out too much, because what's that like? Stand out for being positive? That'll make you lame, right? And it's because we haven't seen enough examples of success to where, no, being extreme and being bold for doing something positive actually makes you that much more impactful and that much more lit. Everybody who's on this panel with me today is extreme and bold about doing the right thing. And that's why it has us successful the way that we are. So that's what I would tell my younger self, is to embrace that earlier. And from the times I knew that I was smart and I was making good grades as a child, embrace that. Go to those programs that my good grades qualified me for. I would turn down all these opportunities because I was like, man, that's where the nerds go. I'm still in the hood. Like, I gotta still seem like I fit in, quote unquote. But once again, as I got older, I started to enjoy being different. So that's what I would tell my younger self, for real.
Thank you, D1, for the response. Right now, we're going to open up the Q&A in the chat box. My first question for anybody that's online: what was the when was the moment you knew you wanted to totally and fully pursue your career seriously? Y'all can answer for me in the chat.
Is the question for us? Or?
It's for any other panelists, y'all can answer.
So I knew, as I shared in my lengthy testimony, that I wanted to be a physical therapist my sophomore year in high school. And this came about because I was a part of an organization called HOSA in high school, where we had the opportunity to go out and shadow different professions. And I stumbled into the rehab sector of a hospital, and I saw therapists throwing balls back and forth to each other with a patient. And so I was like, they paying y'all to do that? Like, what is that about? So that caused me to kind of walk in and figure out, you know, exactly what was going on. Well, I had an opportunity to sit and talk with a patient who had had a stroke. And this patient shared her story with me, and she was about in tears. She expressed how she wanted to give up on life, how she thought that life as she knew it was over. She couldn't care for herself anymore. She couldn't take care of her children. She didn't want to come out of her room. And she said it was her physical therapist that motivated her at every single step, every day, constantly, never gave up on her. And she wanted to show me, she was like, let me show you what I can do now. And so she went from not being able to walk, being confined to a wheelchair, to being able to walk down the hall. And she was so proud, and she just started crying. And I was like, oh my God, I want to have a career that can be that impactful on another human being. And in that moment, I was hooked. I wanted to help others regain the quality of life that they thought was gone. And so, you know, from that moment, it motivated me to figure out, what did I have to do to become a physical therapist? So that was the birth of my desire to be a PT.
Thank you for that answer, Dr. Ashanti Jones. My next question, anybody can answer it. How have you learned to set boundaries by saying no when approached with things that don't align with your goals?
I think that's a good question. I think even as adults, you are constantly on a journey of understanding the importance of boundary setting and how that impacts your overall goals. And so for me, what has really helped me to be able to start saying no is looking at how what I'm being asked to do aligns with what my overall goal is at that moment, right? A lot of people talk about balance. I like to talk about prioritization because I don't think you ever really can balance a whole bunch of things. But I do think you can have a list of things that are important to you and you're prioritizing those things as necessary and changing up those priorities as necessary. So for me, when I find that what I'm being asked to do does not align with what my priority is at that moment, then I'm able to say no. And I think that that kind of carries over into everything, right? So if you have a dream or a goal of becoming a nurse, and you know that a part of going into nursing school and becoming an actual nurse has to do with making sure that you're clean, you don't have any drugs in your system, that you stay the course, that you're focused on where you need to go, then it makes your no easier because it's not tied to, because what they're asking you to do is not tied to your priority and it's to your purpose. And so for me, that's what has helped me to really kind of weed out what I say yes to and what I say no to.
Thank you for that response. Coach DJ Davis, I have a question for you. Have you ever had to cut off family and friends due to them abusing alcohol?
I know.
Unfortunately, yes. And it wasn't an immediate process, or it wasn't something that just happened instantaneously. Because when you have friends and when you have family, obviously those are the people that you really care about. You have concerns about them, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm the kind of person that always wants to see people win. So you try to find ways, as many ways as possible, to support them and help them overcome some of those challenges when it comes to substance abuse. But at the end, all you can do is all you can do. And sometimes all you can do is enough. And you have to sometimes separate yourselves, from those particular persons who have not made the decisions that they need to make to better themselves. I know many of you may have, see the shows that come on TV, like Intervention and things like those type of shows. And you notice that most of the end results are have to do with people having to put down what they call ultimatums or non-negotiables. And so, yes, unfortunately, because some people in your family or your friends, they may not be ready to make those changes. And unfortunately, you, especially when you have goals and dreams, desires that you want to accomplish, you have to sometimes move forward. As tough as that may be, you have to move forward and allow them to make those changes on their own.
Okay, I appreciate the response, Coach DJ. We would like to thank Coach DJ, Dr. Ashanti Jones, Attorney Candace Geis, and also D1 for taking out time to come and speak at Northeast Delta Human Services Authority Stream. D1, is there anything else you would like to say before we get off this live?
I just want to thank everyone for taking an interest in a topic such as this. We need to pour everything that we can into the youth, and all of our experiences, make us better people. So it's great that we're embracing our experiences and our talents, and that we're using them to pour into the youth. Let's just work together, y'all. There's too much hate in this world, and life is too short and too temporary to do anything other than living boldly for God. So that's all I would say. I really appreciate y'all for having me, especially in Louisiana. They give us a bad rap and they act like we just the bottom of the barrel when it comes to everything. But I know we have hearts of gold in Louisiana. So I'm always here for whatever y'all need.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of your time to hear what our speakers have to say. So I just wanted to talk to you again about what it is that we do as an agency. We provide services to everyone regardless of their ability to pay. So that's mental health, addiction issues, tobacco cessation, gambling issues, all of those things. We work really hard specifically with the Opportunity Zone. Our focus is on the prevention of underage drinking. So if you like what you see here today and you support our message, please contact us. We would love to have you be a member of our coalition. And we have clinics here in Monroe, as well as Winsboro. We're everywhere. Check us out on Facebook. You can find a clinic near you. So services are right there at your fingertips. We're really about making sure things are available to the public who need them. So again, thank you so much for participating today.
Biggity bam. That's a wrap. All right, Coach DJ.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Break us out with that Corona clap real quick.
All right. Hey, we almost out
sir.
that Corona clap, baby.
Hey,
We in the
y'all
fourth quarter,
did
you
that.
heard me?
Y'all did that.
Appreciate that, my brother. We almost back to normal, man. Lord willing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
What you coach again, bro? What is it you coach?
I'm the former head football coach here, but I'm an assistant principal here at the middle school.
In Monroe?
Yeah, West Monroe.
For real? Man, look, DM me your contact information, bro. You see in the